On the latest episode of Farmer Wants a Wife, Farmer Colton is tired.
I haven't slept in like 2 days.
I'm Lizzie Frizzle. Let's talk about TV.
Oh, sure, yeah. Totally.
Episode 9 is called Meet the Families Part 1. And in a rare occurrence this season, some interesting stuff happens. But unlike Farmer John, I don't mean it as a compliment.
He uses the word interesting as like a good thing, so
I do.
I had to quickly learn that.
Okay.
I really don't know what I'm saying when I say it. I just kind of say it's interesting.
Like the title not only implies, but also outright states, in this episode, we meet the farmers and half of the women's families as the end of the season comes careening toward us. And speaking of, sort of, I want to know what shows you want to hear me recap next. I'm slowly working on some one-off videos about Survivor and The Amazing Race and maybe a couple other things. But these recap series are especially fun because it feels good in my brain to finish a project on a deadline every week. And also because I like reading your takes after each episode. A few weeks ago, someone left a really smart comment about how obviously fake John's chicken coop setup was that I'm still kicking myself for not thinking of. So, if you're excited about any upcoming show, please leave a comment and let me know. I was thinking Bachelor in Paradise might be fun to talk about this summer because the Goldens are joining the cast, and it's been years since I've watched it. But for now, let's get back to talking about the show this video is actually about. First, we head to Missouri with Farmer John, his family, Lily and her family, her mom and dad, and her 2 sisters whose names also start with L. So they're one of those families.
Interesting.
Since John's parents
We're out of town this time of year.
maybe on business, or maybe on vacation, or maybe living at one of their other plantation-style houses to avoid paying higher residency taxes, we meet his many siblings instead, who I'd think Succession was based on if I didn't already know it's about the Murdochs. The group makes small talk about Lily's sister's volleyball game,
They lost.
and John tries to make a good first impression by giving Lily's mom flowers because he astutely recognizes that
You know, if they don't approve of me, I think that would cause issues in the future.
that's that good law school learning paying off. Unfortunately, Lily's dad is harder to impress, like Lily warned he would be because of his analytical lawyer brain.
Should I call him Your Honor?
No.
Lily reveals that her dad Dave hasn't approved of any guy she's ever introduced him to. And at first, it seems like John won't be an exception because he doesn't like football enough.
Well, who's not a Chiefs fan?
John, he's definitely not.
Lily's dad is also immune to both John's beverage selection and his pine cone comedy. Pine comedy? Pine cone omedy? Pine conity?
This one?
That'd be great.
Okay, great.
That'd be great.
Do you guys
Yes.
want?
No thanks.
You want a tea or a water or anything?
I'm fine.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so
Pine cone.
So how has this been?
Dave's skepticism reaches its climax when he asks John about his future kids. The loudest, most insultingly suspenseful music plays, and we cut to commercial as John prepares to reveal whether or not he thinks he'd be able to take care of a large family. Even though we already know he wants at least 6 kids, so obviously he thinks that.
My role in this life was to have a lot of kids.
What's the minimum number that you think of? 4 is the minimum?
Yeah.
You know what my minimum is?
What's your minimum?
6.
Do you think you can take care of a large family with Lily?
Right after, the suspense is over when John's child-rearing confidence reassures Lily's dad, who decides he is impressed with him after all. But I think it might have been John's marble countertops, his many horses that we've yet to see him ride, and his neighborhood
Nice neighborhood.
that did most of the heavy lifting. Meanwhile, John's siblings like Lily too, and her vision for her future family.
one thing I really appreciated growing up from my parents was discipline.
Lucky kids. That night, John and Lily celebrate their growing relationship with champagne and a kiss. Lily says that John meets all her standards, and he says the same about her. Then Lily adds that he also exceeds her expectations, and John stays quiet. In Alabama, Farmer Jay meets Grace's mom and best friend, while Grace meets Jay's parents and sister. After some charming anecdotes about Jay's dad's childhood on the farm, the group splits up to continue talking. Jay with Grace's mom and Grace with Jay's family. But we just end up forced to watch basically the same conversation twice.
We're definitely a faith-based family. We attend church every Sunday. How do you feel about that?
That makes me feel really good.
She's big into her faith, and that's something that I really value.
Her faith is really strong.
She's very shy, but we kind of got her out that box.
And meet new people and not be a hermit.
How do you think Grace would adjust to the farm life?
So what do you think about all this?
I guess Grace's friend Paige hung out with the goats or tried to find out what Brad Paisley is like or something. Next, Jay and Grace switch back to their own families to hear their thoughts. There's a lot riding on this scene because of how much Grace values her mom's opinion.
My mom is definitely my best friend for sure.
Don't tell Paige that! Both families give each other good reviews, but there still has to be tension throughout the rest of the season. So even though at first Jay's mom liked Grace's relationship with her mom,
It's so funny because when I initially saw them hug, it made me think about me and my daughter. I think that was so pure and so real.
by the end of the day, it's become her biggest concern about Grace.
I definitely had a codependency problem with my mom, I think. She did everything for me.
The only concern I had is that she was saying, kind of being codependent on her mom at one time.
What do you mean, codependent?
Well, she was just saying, before she moved out, she kind of depended on her mom.
I think my mom brought up something about how, you might have been codependent. I am kind of worried, just about that codependency thing. The biggest thing I'm worried about is, how she was kind of relying on her mom growing up.
What are you supposed to do while you're growing up if not rely on your mom? She did a lot of stuff for Grace because she's her parent. Then Grace moved out on her own, and now her mom doesn't do a lot of stuff for her. That's just aging. Also, that's not what codependent means. Later, Jay takes Grace on an ATV ride to a picnic where they rekindle the spark they felt on their first date. Jay says Grace could be the one. Grace says being around Jay is her favorite thing. Jay also asks Grace about depending on her mom too much, but it's such a made-up issue, I'm only mentioning it again for posterity's sake. In Arkansas, farmer Colton is confident that Keeley and his mom will get along because
She's a yapper. You're a yapper.
and he better get along with Keeley's mom too, because she'll be in tow if Keeley wins and moves to Mena.
I would never be able to be away from her, so if she was here, you
Might have
might
a
have some new neighbors.
Oh, man.
We'll feel alive.
Fortunately, despite Colton's weird reaction and the even weirder editing choice to end the scene on it, everyone does get along. Keeley's mom even greets Colton with a big hug because
Nice to meet you.
I'm a hugger.
then she shakes his dad's hand. When the group splits up for smaller conversations, Colton's parents like that Keeley likes horses, but I'm surprised they didn't catch her lying to them.
I've been able to experience farm work truly and what it actually entails.
Elsewhere, Keeley's parents, mostly her mom, like that Colton is cute.
First of all, so cute.
But as the day goes on, Keeley's parents start to worry. First because they find out about Colton's son, and later because they find out about Colton.
For me, I was worried a little bit is your heart ready?
That's my thing. The whole thing through this is, am I ready to be in a different relationship? I don't know.
Last season, the show cast Farmer Ty, who didn't want more children, then filled his dating pool with women who wanted kids. This season, Farmer John is a law student who doesn't live on a farm. But with only a few sentences, Colton just became the worst casting choice the show's ever made. If we're going to air the leads saying they aren't sure if they're ready for a relationship, let alone a marriage, then the show can't be called Farmer Wants a Wife. Farmer Wants to Meet Women. Farmer Wants to Waste Everyone's Time. These are more accurate titles. And we haven't even gotten to the fact that after spending the season macking on as many contestants as he could, now that he's got to pick just one, Colton suddenly decided that he wants to take it slow. But Keeley's parents try their best to find a positive spin on things.
So the honesty, I think,
is something that we value.
They also tell Keeley how proud they are that she made the finals of a dating show, but they also tell her that Colton isn't serious about getting into a serious relationship. Keeley doesn't mind, though. Not then or later on when Colton says the same thing during their picnic date after Parents' Day is over. Colton thanks Keeley for agreeing to take things slow by planting a couple wet ones on her. Then they admit their feelings for each other in the exact perfect way to contradict how host Kim Williams-Paisley opened the episode.
This season, we've asked the families of each of the final 2 ladies to come to the farm to meet the man she's falling in love with.
I really do like you.
I really like you too.
In California, farmer Matt and Jordyn and their folks all show up in matching outfits for their day on the farm. Since Jordyn is originally from Mississippi, Matt's mom asks her parents if they've ever even seen an avocado on a tree before. I hadn't, but after watching this season, I've seen more than enough. To camera, Matt talks about all the chemistry he has with Jordyn, the woman he hasn't kissed even once, who said last episode that she was still waiting for their relationship to turn romantic. She says the same to Matt's parents during their talk, but also stresses that she's ready to return to the country, get married, and have kids. The very things that fuel this show's existence alongside cowboy core fast fashion. Meanwhile, Jordyn's parents ask Matt about his intentions with her. Matt sighs like someone who already knows he's picking the other woman. Then he invents a new problem like he's Farmer Jay talking about Grace's codependency on her mom. Matt is suddenly concerned about Jordyn's ability to continue her country music career if she leaves Nashville, and he thinks they need to figure it out. But didn't they already do that on their solo date 7 episodes ago?
I wanted to ask you about your music.
Yeah.
And what your plans were for that in the future. Would that be something you'd be willing to give up or change to move here?
Music is a huge part of my life, but it's not everything. And I feel like chasing a music dream, I'm not tied to Nashville.
And in case Matt hadn't already made it obvious enough that he's probably not going to pick Jordyn, he adds,
It's hard though, because it is a whole different lifestyle. She obviously loves it.
Yeah.
Just, is it worth it?
When Matt and Jordyn return to their respective parents, Jordyn's dad is relieved that Matt's family seems nice because it's awkward when people get into fistfights at the holidays and reunions and whatnot. Jordyn's mom just wants her to be with someone loyal, and I think I know the perfect person.
Loyalty is extremely important to me.
Elsewhere, Matt's parents encourage him to be more vulnerable in light of Jordyn's confusion about his feelings. But in Matt's defense, he has been vulnerable, just not with Jordyn. Matt brings up her music again to try and get traction on it being a good reason to eliminate her, but his parents just call Jordyn adorable and say how much she seems to like the farm. For their post-visit picnic date, Matt takes Jordyn and her guitar to an extremely cool tree, where she plays him a love song.
The single is available on iTunes.
That the edit quickly drowns out with Matt's voiceover about his feelings.
Tomorrow I'm meeting Chelsea's family.
Jordyn also confronts Matt about being friend-zoned, but he says that how often he stares at her should have been proof that he doesn't see her as just a friend. Jordyn is shocked at how badly she misread his feelings and immediately starts making eyes at him, but Matt still doesn't kiss her because she didn't actually misread him. He's just contractually obligated to lead her on until the finale. Or am I wrong? And is Jordyn about to become the biggest upset winner the show's ever seen? And if she does win, will she and Matt's mom start sharing clothes?
You guys are like the same size.
Find out next week on the season finale recap, which I'm going to split up into 2 videos to make it a little easier on myself. One posted next Wednesday and the other posted next Thursday. Thanks for watching. In the meantime, if you're so inclined, please like and subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified about the next video. Thanks again and see you then. Bye.